Good morning. This reading is from Little House on the Prairie by Laura Ingalls Wilder. This story takes place in Kansas Territory before Kansas was a state in 1870, around the time when your grandparents' grandparents were kids. They lived in a one-room log cabin near the Verdigris River in Kansas Territory. Mary and Laura and their ma and pa all lived in this one-room log cabin. It had been raining and raining, and the creek and the river were flooded, and they knew that there was no way that Santa Claus was going to be able to get to them to deliver their Christmas presents. However, on Christmas morning, they awoke to a surprise visitor, Mr. Edwards. He had met Santa Claus in Independence and had brought them their Christmas presents, and their mother had just put them in their empty stockings. Ma said, "You may look now, girls." Something was shining bright in the top of Laura's stocking. She squealed and jumped out of bed. So did Mary, but Laura beat her to the fireplace, and the shining thing was a glittering new tin cup. Mary had one exactly like it. These new tin cups were their very own. Now they each had a cup to drink out of. Laura jumped up and down and shouted and laughed, but Mary stood still and looked with shining eyes at her own tin cup. Then they plunged their hands into the stockings again, and they pulled out two long sticks of candy. It was peppermint candy, striped red and white. They looked and looked at their beautiful candy, and Laura licked her stick, just one lick. But Mary didn't even take one lick of her stick. Those stockings weren't empty yet. Mary and Laura pulled out two small packages. They unwrapped them, and each found a little heart-shaped cake. Over their delicate brown tops was sprinkled white sugar. The sparkling grains lay like tiny drifts of snow. The cakes were too pretty to eat. Mary and Laura just looked at them. But at last, Laura turned hers over, and she nibbled a tiny nibble from underneath where it wouldn't show. And the inside of the little cake was white. It had been made of pure white flour and sweetened with white sugar. Laura and Mary never would have looked in their stockings again. The cups and the cakes and the candy were almost too much. They were too happy to speak, but Ma asked if they were sure the stockings were empty. Then they put their hands down inside them to make sure, and in the very toe of each stocking was a shining, bright new penny. They had never even thought of such a thing as having a penny. Think of having a whole penny for your very own. Think of having a cup and a cake and a stick of candy and a penny. There had never had been such a Christmas.
My favorite holiday food is turkey at Thanksgiving. My favorite candy is candy canes at Christmas.
My favorite holiday food is ham and mashed potatoes because we get to have big ham and big mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving, and I also get to help my mom mash the potatoes.
In the winter times, my family roasts marshmallows in our fireplace to make s'mores, and it's my favorite thing to do in the holidays.
And my favorite food is Christmas cookies because, like, inside I like them like peppermint, sugary, chocolate chips for sure, and sometimes M&Ms. And I don't like peanut butter cookies. I would like stuff inside them. Like, I don't know, probably chocolate maybe? Gooey fudge inside of them. And I like to have, maybe sometime I could have peppermints on top of my cookies.
Hi, Northwoods. I was gonna tell you one of my favorite foods for the holiday. One of my favorite foods for the holiday is my grandma's mac and cheese. And I love my grandma's mac and cheese because I like things that have noodles like spaghetti, and sometimes we eat it for lunch. And and sometimes we eat it for dinner, and sometimes we eat it for Thanksgiving.
Hey,
Hi,
what's your favorite food to eat around the holidays?
turkey.
Why?
I think it tastes good, and it reminds me to be thankful on Thanksgiving.
Why?
Well, because I should be thankful for the people who made it, and the animal itself for sharing it.
What does turkey remind you of?
Turkey reminds me of family.
My favorite holiday food is mince pie. We haven't made it yet, but we're going to make it tomorrow. And this is what you put in it. Merry Christmas and bye.